Welcome to that spiritual, actual, factual answers to questions you're asking. You find them inside you, recite you, reciting the records of cash. We laughing, we drafting the passion to vary. It's time for that comedy, dramedy, all of the fanciest, catchiest acronyms. Listeners, listen, we traveling. Conscious is always unraveling. The reading you're having is mapping you back to your natural habitat. Abracadabra, it's magicless, fascinating. To top it off, the host, all the classiest. Now, what were you asking for? All of the answers? What? All the answers.
Okay, I'm recording. I think I'm good. Tell me if you need anything from me. Holy crap. 2022, bitches. 2022.
Here we are.
Fucking
welcome to the party.
Hell on the cross. Hell on the cross. Not even Christ on the cross.
Yeah.
I do want to start us with this. I want to hear your guys' experience of this. I wonder if you felt this at all. Yesterday, let's see, the date would have been the 3rd of January. I don't know if, did you guys feel a noticeable improvement in the frequency of your lives? Desmond's nodding.
Tenfold.
Cassidy's what?
All right, I want to hear both of yours. Mine's less remarkable.
Well, you're a 3.
Actually, I should go first. Mine's the least remarkable. So I'll just say very slight, and it's weirdly kind of Picayune, if that's the right word. I don't even know if it is.
Wow.
Right? Just look that up. We're not going to address the word. Everyone just needs to go find out what that word means for
Can
themselves.
you spell it for the listener?
Picayune.
Wow, I love that word.
I think it just means like every day or something like that.
Oh my.
I've been on a little staycation house sit and with nothing to do, like weirdly nothing to do.
Okay.
And first day, great. Second day, great. Third or fourth, fifth day, like I hate myself because I'm just stewing in my own
Feces.
stink. And I'm just nothing. I have nothing to do. I feel useless.
Yeah.
But yesterday,
Yeah.
I did nothing at all except watch TV.
Yeah.
Stayed in my pajamas all day. Literally.
Shat yourself.
Shat myself, cleaned up, shat again. And it was lovely. Like,
Okay.
It wasn't that different in terms of what I'd done.
Right, but that's the point.
But suddenly that day felt better to do fuck all.
That's the point. I'm glad you started us.
And I didn't feel bad.
It was,
yeah.
That was the most Picayune example of what I'm saying that we
Great.
could have had, but it was right on the money. Okay, Des, what about you?
First of all, I just want to acknowledge how good it feels to take a shit and not wipe and just get right in the shower. I mean, is that not just the greatest fuck the universe move ever?
Have you-
Welcome to 2022. Oh, I've done it.
You have?
Yeah.
Have you done that, Des?
Oh, yeah.
It's just like using a
bidet.
A bidet, just like full body bidet right away. I mean, it's the first place you direct the stream. Let's be clear.
Yeah. Yeah. And don't confuse, and people, don't try this with a bath. It's not the same.
Oh, God. We are starting off in not rare form. We're starting off in perfect form. This is how we start our first episode of the year.
Oh, well, I had a big shit shower situation. I knew that the holidays was going to be a little bit crazy. The teen was coming home for the first time in 5 months. The 6-year-old, of course, was going to be out of school for 2 weeks. And I just knew it was going to be chaos. I had a lot of time with my therapist to prepare, and everything went pretty well. But I think internally, it slowly wore me down. I think I was having kind of like shelter in place PTSD. Because that was the only reference point I had for my house being full, was that we were stuck together and there was no end date. Thankfully, I did know there was an end date, and we did have a great holiday. All of this was going on inside of me. Outside, we were having a great time. It was wonderful to have Will around, and he's grown so much. It's amazing.
Where was he for 5 months? Did you send him to jail?
No, he is voluntarily in military school.
Okay.
He asked for it. He wanted it.
Yes.
He said, I want to go here.
Yep. He has wanted military school, or he's wanted the military his whole life.
Huh.
Like most teens, everything they want, you give it to them, and then they don't want it. So
right.
We sent him to summer camp there thinking like, well, let's just let him get this out of his system. Loved it. He's like, I really want to go to school here.
What?
So we signed him up. So he's now 17, but we shipped him out at 16, basically went to college. Like, he's in Carlsbad, living in a dorm room with a bunch of people. And this, if you go here, like, it's the most military school you could ever imagine. but only like 3% go onto the military. Like most people use it just to
get structure in their lives.
Yeah. And then move on. And he loves the structure so much. One of the first things he said was they took ambiguity out of good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
So wait, but the question we were asking is, how was Monday slightly better than, or a lot better?
So I had like I said, I was going kind of crazy, but I knew in my head, I was like, everyone's going to go back to school. Everyone's going to go back to work. And, Monday, and I'd been planning basically for a month. And December was kind of tough anyways. I'm just like, all right, January is going to be great. I'm going to, get all my work started off well. And so, yeah, so yesterday all I wanted to do was pull a Cassidy, was what I really wanted to do. But I knew that for me, I couldn't start my routine off like that. Like I needed to start 2022 the way I want most of my days to go. So I got up, I worked out, I went to therapy, I did a bunch of editing, I had a great recording session, and yeah, everything just kind of
are you attributing that to the fact that everybody was out of the house, or did you feel like a lift in the air kind of?
Both.
Okay.
Like I was ready to do that anyways, but then
Got it.
Also the universe kind of like gave me the space
Got
to
you.
really enjoy it.
Okay. Now, two things. One is, I would say to be fair, we should call it pulling a Katie because I've been on my couch it's almost 6 weeks now, legitimately injured shitting myself regularly on the couch several times a day. I got shitting yourself.
You diapered yourself.
I'm so ahead of you on the shit yourself team. Okay, so that. And then two, the reason I wanted to talk about this Monday thing is that the distinction in the energy, holy shit, I fucking can't believe the lift in energy that happened yesterday in my experience of it, because of course I always feel everything 55 times more than the people feel it. But part of why I brought it up today is because every single person in my life, clients, friends, partners of friends, like things that were like shitty hard, finished yesterday. And everybody went, or they died. No joke. Like 3 people died yesterday in my life. No joke. And yeah, not like good friends. I'm not grieving at the moment. But like, okay, I'll give you an example.
You're aware of deaths.
Yeah, like right around me.
Outer circles, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of death and a lot of people going, phew, okay, wow, I can breathe again. And me going like, holy shit, I'm not like miserable on the couch. I'm just on the couch, like you were saying, Cass.
Right.
And I got my boot came for my ankle. I showed you guys the pictures. My boot came and my scoot came.
Boot and scoot.
So I have a boot and a scoot. I am a boot scooting lady now. And I can't remember having ever felt this happy in my life. And I think it's because compared to how I've been feeling, you know what I mean? It's so much better to have the boot and the scoot. I can't believe it. I'm like, joy is real and there's a hope in the future and life could be good. And it all shifted yesterday.
Oh, get down, turn around, go to town, boot scoot.
Perfect. I mean, I've had like 8 people send it to me in the last 2 days, so.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, boot scooting buggy. Look at you, boot scooting down the street. Like I've got pictures of me in the hall with the dog on the leash, and I'm just like going 40 miles an hour, like yeah, because it's just like, oh my god, to be able to move and like all the gratitude. But coming back to it, astrology. So astrologically, the reason the thing with Monday is because when it's like that rampant, I can't help myself but go look at the transits and see like what the fuck has been going on. And first things first, I want the listener to hear is that we are in a Venus retrograde, which ends January 29th. So we're in a Venus retrograde all the way to January 29th. This is a chunk of time. We talk in our culture a lot about Mercury retrogrades. They're popular because they're so easy to see. Like people's computers blow up and the car breaks down and don't sign a contract because contracts fall apart. But Venus retrogrades are really important to talk about too, because what happens in a Venus retrograde is everything Venus-y gets fucked with, slowed down so that we can look at it more closely, be present, which is relational dynamics, love, beauty, and money. So things to do with like kids, family, community connection, love, sex, money. So that's happening. But on top of that, we had 75 squares and trines and crazy shit. I couldn't even begin to list it all. But I looked, and I actually had a whole astrology session about it. I was like, you need to tell me what is happening in the sky right now, because why is every human I know going through it? And then on the 3rd, everything went ping and shifted open. And then I want to give you some examples. One, a guy jumped off this bridge. I'm looking at a bridge out my window, jumped off it, killed himself. Later the same day, a guy who's like kind of a famous homeless guy that wears a backpack and an outfit that looks the same every day, and everybody who lives in this area knows him, got stabbed and killed on the streets. Everybody knows him. My neighbor down the hall was like, he's been here 25 years since I was a kid, born and raised in this town. I know that guy personally. I can't believe he's dead. She grieved all day. Like, big deal. This guy is like, you can't go anywhere without seeing this guy dead. And then these are like completion points, I'm going to call them, that happened Monday. One of my dog walkers got attacked and bitten by a dog on the hand and had to go to the ER and get rabies shots and is still like recovering from it a bunch of days ago. This was all leading up to yesterday. Me, of course, I had my crazy injuries. Newman Manfredson was supposed to come over here on Friday from Pennsylvania. He and his entire family got COVID. They couldn't come see me. I've been alone for 6 weeks. That was going to be like the end of my alone. Nope. No sexy time for Katie. Squeezels like ate a toy and chewed up bits of it and swallowed it and was puffed up and all fucked up and puking and not shitting and not eating. And I was like, fuck. So she had to go to the emergency vet. And then long story long, she didn't have to get surgery, but it wasn't looking good. My dear friend who's traveling right now in San Diego got COVID and is like holed up and maybe on a ventilator now. He stopped responding to my texts. I'm fine. I'm good. Oh, I'm not fine. I'm not. Ooh, this is the worst thing I've ever felt. I can't breathe. And then no more texts. And now I'm worried about him. I don't know what's going on with him. Anyway, all this, and I could keep going. I could keep going and going. Everyone I know, big, intense, weird shit. And then yesterday, I got a bunch of messages from people being like, phew, I finally passed the blah-de-blah test. I had a friend taking the real estate thing. And then the guy got stabbed, the jumping off the thing. I felt better. I made a 3-card spread about like, big shift in the energy today. The transits shifted. Things should get a little bit lighter. And everybody who always comments on my 3-card spreads was like, oh my God, totally. This happened and that happened in the shift. So anyway, because it's been so prevalent in my reality, I thought I would see like, did you guys experience it that way or not? Because, one's reality is just one's reality. So it's nice to hear that you guys kind of felt it as well. And then you've got like the Rami situation. I don't want to tell Rami's life out of school, but like, was doing a job changed. Boom. Not doing that job. And then today's the day they're going home. Yesterday was the day of like, okay, that's over. Just, I don't know. Think of a person and let's look at it. I kind of can't think of anyone who hasn't kind of been like, the way my astrology lady was describing it is like squeezed up against. In my chart, it looks like, well, I won't bore people with what it looks like in my chart, but there's been squares and trines and things that are energies that when they oppose one another, they make you deal with stuff. And you could frame that as challenging oppositions, or you could frame it as growth opportunity oppositions, or both, depending on how you like to frame things.
So there was the situation from like, what was it, the 5th to the 20th of December? There was stuff going on.
Yes.
In the universe.
That's right.
So even though that was supposed to be hard, there was still a force to push up against. And then did the Venus retrograde start yesterday?
No, the Venus retrograde started at the end of, I'm going to find out. The end of December, after that 21st thing. It ended on the 21st, and then Venus started on, let me find out, actually. I'm curious. What were you going to say?
I was wondering if between those two events, there was a limbo and the universe just said, you fucking figure it out for 8 days. And like I said, even bad universal energy is better than zero universal energy.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I don't think so, because the Venus retrograde started on December 19th. So we would have still been in the wacky tensions we were in until the 21st. They were just different wacky tensions. I have to say, shout out to William Lewis, WilliamLewisHealer.com, because in 2020, no joke, he's like always ahead on the astrology tip. I'll say things like, God, this fucking solstice, right? And he'll be like, yeah, well, wait till 2024. And I'll be like, but that doesn't help me feel better. I need to feel better. But in 2020, man, he kept saying, like, everybody's bitching about 2020, but hold on. Just hold on tight.
Hold on to 2021.
And I was like, what do you mean? But I don't want to know. And he was talking about 2022 the whole time. Eek! So anyway, but I will say, for good newsiness, two things for good newsiness. One, he was like 2021 and 2022 probably harder than 2020 because in 2020 we'll deal with, well, I'm not going to get into it. It might get a little harder. But then it eases up in 2023. And then that's good newsy number one. Good newsy number two is what I know about what's going to happen in 2027 is, and I'll talk about it if we want to, is that all of this here and now is setting us up for a real big expansion energy, like Jupiter kind of expansion energy in 2027. So according to human design, or I guess I should say according to Ra, the guy who channeled human design, in 2027, the collective way of functioning shifts entirely. Like you can't change it. You can't do anything about it. It's just occurring from a tribalist to humanity being tribalist to humanity being individualist, which means that it doesn't mean like fuck my family and fuck everybody and I'm on my own. It means we live in this programming in our culture now of like what the tribe says is king. And you're like this big renegade ballsy motherfucker if you just do what you do, right? You have to like go to therapy and do coaching to learn how to like be you despite what your mom says or, you know, your family wants or whatever. And it's like a big thing. That's been, I want to say, several centuries of how the collective has been functioning. But according to this dude, in 2027, it all flips to like a collective understanding of the value and importance of individualism, where people just go, oh, wait, it is true that the way I eat works for me, not for everyone. Oh, wait, it is true that like I have certain sexual boundaries that are unique and different from yours, and there's no one way to be married to people. Oh, wait, and like, so if you look at what's happening now, like I'm looking at the trans movement and non-binary polarity dissolvingness that's in our cultural consciousness now, and race conversations and everything that's like all the structures that are breaking apart, they're all pretty damn binary in nature. Even our politics is, the binariness of it is up in our faces, and it's so polarized now because it's about to like, it has to come up to move out, like everything, right? You got to squeeze the boil for the pus to come out. And when the pus comes out, you don't have a boil. So I think collectively, all of this difficulty right now is leading to this freedom, this opening, this pus bubble break in 2027, where we will have had the trauma clearing of now. And by 2027, we're all kind of settled into like, okay, I get it. Like I can take medication, you can't. That guy is not a guy anymore, and gender is fluid, and ladies are men, and oneness is real because individualism is valuable, not right or wrong. It's just valuable above tribalism.
So individualism, but it's still a collective acceptance or awareness of individualism as opposed to my way or the highway, which is the current understanding of individualism.
Right. It's not libertarianism.
It's not. It's not a false individualism, which says I get what I want, but you also help pay for it.
Well, I would argue that it's like we can all care about each other and respect that we each need different stuff without entitlement, but also without guilt. Like you don't have to be ashamed that you can't handle a vaccine, but you're going to do something different about it. Like right. There's
to help each other as well.
Yes, we can collectively be different and be individuals and support the collective being individuals together. It's the idea of the multiplicity and the unity. How like, you know, in the same way that you can't say, like if we talk about it with like race as a metaphor, you can't say like oneness, we should all be the same, or like we're all the same and I don't see race. Like that doesn't solve it. Rather, it's about, I see race, I get the problems of pretending I don't see race, and then I acknowledge you for what you are, you acknowledge me for what I am, and we all respect each other better, equally. It's actual equality can come when the individual is honored. But it's this idea that like we have to fit into some normative tribe. But who's going to whose tribe? Because whose tribe is normative.
Right. Yeah, because we're still, yeah, I know. Like I still in my collectivist, what's best for the group is still aligning myself. I'm still basing that on a sort of a group think of like, okay, well, the majority of the people that I've chosen to ally myself think this, so I think this too.
Right. 100%. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is a problem I come up against all the time raising a 6-year-old because I want him to be individual and be weird and be different, but I also want him to just tie his fucking shoes so we can get out of the house.
Right.
And this is how you tie your shoes.
My next podcast is going to be a parenting podcast. Just need a whole we need we need hours on that. Cuz I mean when you're talking about kids, it's different cuz but it's also not. So it's really hard.
Kids become a great microcosm of human behavior. Like they are the nation writ large often, like,
yeah,
or writ small. Like the way a child behaves is just blow that up to how we behave collectively and how we respond to things collectively.
I've been listening to a couple different podcasts that all seem to be talking about parenting kids right now. I think it's such a big thing because everybody has trans kids. There's a lot of trans kids happening.
A lot of them.
Right?
Yeah.
And a lot of like celebrities having to deal with who are like people that people want to have on their podcast. So you get like,
right.
I was listening to famous basketball player who was Dwayne Wade.
Right.
Was on Armchair Expert, and he's talking about raising his trans daughter. And I heard like 3 other podcasts this week that were about this very topic, interestingly. Not trans podcasts, just podcasts that were talking about this.
Yeah.
Anyway, and it's interesting to hear the parenting that's working. It sounds like, I'm not a parent, so I don't want to pretend I know what parenting is, but it sounds like the parenting that's working is the parenting where, like, I'll put it like this. I'm hearing people... the struggle is the people struggling more are the ones saying, I have to make them do blank because they have to do blank. And the parents not struggling as much are the ones that are going like, well, she doesn't like to do blank, so we don't have her do blank. And so I understand, though, as I say that like, there are lines. Like you have to wear pants to go to school because, you can't have your little penis out.
Right.
In the playground. There are certain boundaries that have to be respected. But within that, I'm hearing this conversation a lot about like, well, fuck, if she hates shoelaces, we just don't do shoelaces. But then where's the line between that and like, then you're coddling your kid and the kid has no... So I think it's hard, right? Because fuck. Boundaries are the hardest thing. Because when do you do too much and when is it not enough? And right?
I have become a crust cutter offer. And I fucking hate that. But I just want him to eat. And like, if I cut the crust off, he eats the whole sandwich.
Well,
if I leave the crust on, he takes 2 bites.
Yeah, I think that's the you just named it in, again, child writ large. It's like,
yeah,
what, we could use the metaphors of like, is it which hill do you want to die on? Like, pick your battles. All those things are really true because it's like,
right.
The same thing goes with all, like, we talk about self-care, and there's versions of self-care that are coddling yourself, as in not worrying about other people. I'm just going to look after me. Fuck you. My self-care is paramount, which is a negative version of that. And then there's self-care, which is like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to cut the crust off my sandwich because I don't like crusts. And there's nothing wrong with that because that doesn't matter. What matters is, no, you can't go punch that other person in the face.
Yeah, like that's what I get. I go, good, fucking, because it's, to me, that's the spiritual teaching of like, do you need to resist it? Like, it's like the Al-Anon thing of how important is it? Like, is this one, Katie, that you need to fight on, or can you just let the crust go? And like, I don't always know. But I like what you're saying, Cass, about like, your kid isn't murdering babies or like shooting heroin. He just doesn't want the crust. Yeah. It's like, how bad is it?
It's a slippery slope,
man. No, it's not. It's I love that. It's like, how many times, though, do you recognize in yourself, like hills that you stake a claim on that are a lie? Like when you finally see that, you go, why am I fighting that so hard? That is not a thing. Like, I still get upset when people use lay and lie wrong, and everyone uses lay and lie wrong, and it doesn't matter. It's not wrong. Wrong is a dumb word there. It's language. Language is mutable. It doesn't matter.
Okay, wait. Will you
But
help?
I still get upset. I still internally react every time.
Will you help me? Will you help me? Which one is it?
Okay.
That's one I don't have in my
This
head.
is my caveat. This is what the old, outdated rule is that I'm about to describe to you.
Is it outdated? It's grammar.
Yes, because grammar changes too.
Okay.
We say all kinds of, we use dangling participles. We end sentences with prepositions, and it's useful to do so. So why would we change? Why would we adhere to the rule? I put air quotes and no one can see them. Okay, so the rule that I am gripping to with a death grip that I think is dumb is if you are reclining upon something, you're lying. You lie.
Okay.
And the same thing goes with the command form of that. For example, if you're telling your dog to go get into the bed and be prone, it's lie down.
Okay.
But I would posit that 95% of the time, everybody who speaks English says lay down to their dog. 95%, which that to me is the part where I'm like, well, then language changed. And that's okay.
Okay, wait.
But I don't do that. So that's lie. So lay is an active verb, which means I take an item and I lay it down.
Huh.
I do a thing. There's an object to the verb.
Okay.
So you could lay your dog down, which would be literally taking your dog, pulling his legs out and putting him down.
Wow.
Okay, so
why does he have to be splayed eagle to lay down?
And then the slang version of that is have sex with. I lay my dog. So whenever you say,
Okay.
Go lay down, you're saying go fuck the bed. I don't know what you're saying, but so that's the basic. And then the past tenses of it are just fucking crazy because then it's like, what'd you do yesterday? Well, I lay down. That's true. That's the past tense of lie down.
Oh.
Lied down. I lied down. No, lied is when you tell a fib.
I lay down in the past.
I lay down. Yesterday I lay down. It was really nice.
Ah.
And right now I'm going to go lie down. I am lying down.
I see.
But then okay, so then the worst lyric in history in my mind is by the Moody Blues. And it goes like this.
Then the tide rushes in and washes my castles away. Then I'm really not so sure which side of the bed I should lay. I should lay.
A, he needs an on. B, upon anything. B, and then you've got a participle.
Oh boy, it's terrible.
A participle at the end, or a preposition at the end.
Right, or upon, or an on.
B, it should be lie.
B, it should be lie.
Which wouldn't rhyme.
So he's saying, which half of my futon should I fuck?
Interesting. See, I love this. You know what I'm realizing as we're talking about this? I am a super grammar hound. I love grammar stuff. And I think you know what it is? I just totally got this right now. It gives me the short-term illusion of there's something I can control in this reality.
Right.
Because my brain is so bad at most things. I can't do math and I can't even research things on the internet. Like I'm bad at stuff that have to do with the brain, doing things as tasks. I don't have a defined head and ajna in human design speak. But my being and my body are really good at a bunch of stuff, right? Like I don't feel like inept, but that's not my fortitude. But one thing my brain can do is grammar. So I think because I've always had such a weird, unique kind of brain, it gives me comfort to be like, I get grammar. So it's a system of rules. Whereas I usually am rebelling against all systems of rules. That's my first impulse. I embrace the system of grammar because I can get it.
Right.
It's just my own little, ego thing.
Can I add one thing real quick? The confusion arises because lay is the past tense of lie.
Right.
So people and dogs are forever laying down.
Right. In the past.
In the past.
Having had lay down.
Yes.
Got it.
But it is problematic. And I'm gonna, just because this is who I always am and I'm exhausting, I will also, this is a constant argument. I literally have this argument in my own head.
Yeah.
It's the most I talk to myself is in this conversation. I say to myself, shut the fuck up, you elitist motherfucker. Who cares? Did they get their idea across and was it clear? 100% it is. It doesn't matter. I really care more when the ideas aren't clear because of bad language. Whereas in the case of lay and lie, they are 100% clear. Everybody knows exactly what you're talking about. So why am I stuck? And language does change. Rules are rewritten all the time. And we have rewritten those rules. Somebody gets to be the expert who declares, okay, we have now, rewritten that rule. I don't know who that person is. It's my other favorite podcast, Away with Words, which is a great, Katie, you should be listening to it if you love language.
Cool. It's interesting. I was just hearing, this is what I heard you say. I watched the parts of your brain need to be right at each other. So one part was like, I'm right. And then the other part was like, no, you're not right. And I'm right. And then you've had a white guy rightness fight inside your own. So you have two white guys.
Yeah.
Both right.
Needing to be right.
Than each other.
Yeah.
I just hear that as the mind, right? The mind, that's what the mind does. And you got that triple fucking Gemini, bro.
Yeah.
Fucking A, triple Gemini. I just go, I forget. I want to look at your chart again, your human design chart.
So and my Gemini is sun moon. It is not rising. It's sun moon Mercury.
But that's triple.
And my rising, I forget now, is something else entirely.
I just mean that's a lot of Gemini to have.
That's a lot of Gemini.
And in strong placements, because Mercury is about communication, how you communicate.
Yeah.
And how you talk to yourself is affected by, you know.
I do it a lot. He's talkative.
That's so intense. But do you remember your human design chart? Do you remember if your head and ajna are defined? I'm just curious. Do you remember?
I can tell you in a second. It's a human design, baby. Let's see if this is the one after we got it right.
Yeah. While you're doing that, I just want to say to the world, it is the most beautiful day out. It's blue skies, clear sun. It's cold, but like beautifully cold. The river is clear and moving nicely. It's just, and yesterday was just 11 degrees and gray. Everything was gray. Now it's just like, what? Oh boy. And you're sure this is the correct one?
Yeah, this is 3:30 in the afternoon. Yes.
Okay. Boy, I thought I was going to have good news for you. All right.
See how empty it is?
Yeah. Do you want me to tell you about this or not?
I don't know. What do we? Sure. We're talking.
Well, I mean, but I really want you to tell me if you want, because this is a little challenging. Some of this will be a little like, no, I'm not, because blah, blah, blah.
You don't think I already know most of it, probably?
Maybe. But this, well, I mean, I'll just tell you. You can do whatever you want with it, right?
Yeah.
First of all, I'm realizing a couple things. This is cool. I'm glad we're looking at this. Wow. Okay, I can tell you a few things that I think will feel good and helpful. How about that? To balance out the one thing that might be challenging. Interesting. Okay, so you have an open root. Helpful thing number one, having an open root. The root is a motor center. The motor centers are the ones that like where we have actual energy to do stuff. And when you have an open center, what that means is, it means a bunch of things. But one of the things it means is you're easily influenceable by the outside world and you're easily programmable to go to what's called the not self. So the not self is just when you're not actually in your true, authentic self. You're in programming from the culture or programming from shoulds, right? Shoulds and judgment.
Oh, 100%. I have a good story about that. That was the story I was going to tell you later.
Oh, cool. Okay. Then when you have a root center, though, that's open, so because the root is a motor center, you can feel this pressure to always be doing stuff. But anytime you feel that pressure, it's not you. It's not actually true. It's the pressure around you that you're picking up on that you think is you. So I'll just read how it's framed here. The root center open, not self-theme, always in a hurry to be free of the pressure. That's the not self-theme. So the question you can ask yourself, not self-question, am I in a hurry to get things done so I can be free of pressure? When that comes up for you, when you feel like I got to go around and get rid of this, I got to do a thing to get free of this pressure, you can know that is your open root being influenced by the people around you and the energies around you, and that it's actually not required. And one of the things they say is when those energy, and we all have these in different parts of our charts in various forms and whatever. One thing you can do is like expend your energy through like exercise or just doing useful things with your energy, as opposed to trying to hurry up and get things done so you can be free of the pressure, because that's never going to be gone.
Right.
The pressure is never going to go away because it's your open center's awareness of everybody else's stuff. And then here, no, I'm not going to say that. Okay, now the thing, what were you going to say about that? I feel like you had
I have a whole story just about the thing that happened to me between Christmas and New Year's of intense feelings of pressure.
Oh, I can't wait to hear that.
Yeah.
All right, the last thing I'll tell you, and then I want to hear that, because maybe it's related to head and ajna. See, the reason I brought up your head and ajna, I wanted to see your chart, is because when I realize you have all that Gemini, my dream is that I could be able to say to you, well, you have a defined head and ajna, so you're supposed to use your brain and your head to a certain degree, but you don't have it. And so
No.
if we believe in human design at all, theoretically, it would be in your highest interest, or you could say you'd have the most freedom and the most authentic expression of true self to never ever listen to anything that goes through your head, because everything that goes through head and ajna that's open, because remember, an open center is easily programmable by the outside. I also have an open head and ajna, so I'm supposed to like literally never trust anything that comes through my head because it's just somebody else's idea that I'm latching onto. I'm supposed to function from the defined centers in the rest of my chart, and that would be the same for you. And you've got a defined throat, a defined sacral center, and a defined solar plexus. Anyway, we could say a lot about correct functioning for your design, but incorrect would be to listen to the thoughts in your head and believe them and act from them. And I'll just read this last little nugget here. Open ajna. So the head is the top of the head and the ajna is the bottom of the head, which there's too much to say about that, but you get the idea. The not self theme of the open ajna is pretending to be certain. And the not self question is, am I trying to convince everyone that I am certain? So anytime you do that, you're functioning from the not self theme of having an open head, which is very normal. That's what everybody does, is we have these compensatory things for having open centers, and then we function from the compensatory thing until we learn I don't have to do that. Okay. Open head, it would be not self-theme, thinking about things that don't matter, and not self-question. Am I trying to answer everybody else's questions? So that's how you know you're in your not self of an open head and an open ajna. I have the same open head and ajna, so whenever I go to naming my podcast All the Answers, for example, I'm probably pretending to be certain and trying to convince everyone that I'm certain. And if I ever go to thinking about things that don't matter all day, every day, am I trying to answer everybody else's questions? Yes. So when I can catch that, I go back to like, okay, what's correct functioning for me? Wait to respond, follow my emotional wave, ride it up and down, burn my energy off with exercise and useful contribution, and feel in my body what's true rather than figure it out from my head. Okay. So there's that. And your story is?
I think it's directly related, but you tell me what you think.
Fun.
So I'll try and do the short version because there's a lot of little tiny details, but it's kind of exhausting. Starting Christmas Eve. So Christmas Eve, Christmas Eve, we have a gathering with the household to do a brunch with the people who live in my house.
Okay.
And later in the day, towards the end of the day, let's start a week prior.
First, the dinosaurs came. Then.
Yeah, well, it does kind of feel like that. A week prior, on a Friday, we discover that our hot water heater for this whole house is not working.
What a thing.
So I get someone to come out. They can't come out, of course, till Monday. They come out on Monday. They're like, yeah, that shit's busted.
Oh, no.
You should have gotten a service. Long story short, they say, like, you basically need to know it. It's an on-demand water heater, which have like little digital details and stuff, and you should get it serviced, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? We'd had it for 20 years. It shouldn't have lasted as long as it did. It was great.
Okay.
So it did its job, and then it died because we didn't take care of it.
Oof.
Metaphor.
True. I hear that. Preach.
And then, so, we talk to these people, and they give us 4 bids for like, you could just replace this piece of shit, and we could give you another piece of shit and it would work okay. We could do this, or we could do this. And so we took the second most expensive option, which includes like service and it includes like a pump and blah, 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 blah. But it was a lot of money. We're like, all right, we're going to do this. So we do this. They come in the next day, they put it in. So this is 5 days later. We finally have hot water again from when we didn't have hot water.
Okay.
This is a household of 6 people who are paying rent.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. And I'm feeling very responsible for the fact that everybody who
Of course.
pays rent in my home does not have hot water, and I'm stressed out about it, but it gets handled.
Okay. How many days did they all go without hot water?
Sometime Friday it went out. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and it comes in on Tuesday. Tuesday evening we have hot water.
Oh, God. Oh, 5 days.
Works great till Friday afternoon again.
Oh, no.
Sometime Friday, this brand new thousands of dollars unit.
No.
Just stops working. Literally, screen goes blank.
No.
Like it's not getting power. It's Christmas Eve.
No.
I call, they answer on Christmas Eve, and the guy says, yeah, well, it's just, but I think it's like an answering service. I don't think it's the actual company, because the guy says, oh yeah, I can't help you, but we'll send someone out Sunday morning, 8 a.m. That's great. 2 days, we can handle it. Sunday morning, I call back just to check in. Oh no, we don't have you at all. What happened?
No.
But I'm talking. So I've got this lady who I've been talking to a lot there. She's my girl, Shauna.
I have to tell you,
I love Shauna.
Really fast, my dog walker is about to interrupt us to take this dog off my lap. So I apologize for the loud noises that are about to occur.
That's okay.
And we'll just pause briefly when they happen. But don't rush your story. I'm enjoying this.
Okay.
No, I'm enjoying it. I am. It's good. It's good.
Okay. So starting
Sunday
Friday.
Sunday comes.
Sunday morning. So I'm stressed out by this because it's brand new. It's $10,000, blah, blah, blah.
Ugh.
We're like, this is not okay. And it's just not working. We don't know what's wrong. So Friday we have the Christmas Eve gathering, right? Then later that day, it stops working. Some point during the day, we don't know when, and we just notice it at some point that we're not getting hot water. Saturday, I go hang out with my family, having like tested, I took a rapid test just to make sure, all the things, a little preventative because my elderly in-laws are there. My sister-in-law's parents, we're being as careful as we can.
Fuck yeah.
Partway through the day, get a message from a housemate/tenant, took a rapid test, positive.
Oh, fuck shit.
So in theory, I've been exposed. Now, if you do the math, like I was exposed on Friday, I won't actually be a danger if I do have it until like Monday, because it's like 48 hours incubation, blah, blah, blah. But still, it fucks up my day. I'm like, great.
Sure.
I don't know what to do now. Do I leave? But I've already been with them for 5 hours at this point, 4 or 5 hours, in close contact. So like, it's pointless to do anything to change. But I start wearing a mask for the rest of the day and being a little more distant, but still staying. And like, it just wrecked my day. And then I have to go into isolation and like get more tests and but I shouldn't get a test until Tuesday anyway. Dog walker.
Okay, wait, hold right there. I'll be right. Don't stop. Just wait 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
I got you.
I saw wait.
Hold.
Back.
And she's back. Okay, so here I am worrying about COVID with this family and then stressing out about Sunday. There's a whole mess of like, oh, I'm talking to this person and she says they're coming and then they don't, and I'm waiting all day Sunday for, oh no, it's not 8 to 10. Okay, but I'm still waiting. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. So I can't go do anything. I can't like distract myself because I keep thinking, oh, it's by 1. Oh, okay. Round 1, nothing. I call, but 2, no, 3, no. Are they coming? They have to come. Are they coming? They're not there. The guy finally gets there at like 4 o'clock, not 8 a.m., but 4 o'clock. I've been waiting all day. I'm checking, people are like, what's up? Are they here? That's not how they sound. They sound in my head though. And in fact, it's all on text, so they don't sound like anything. He gets there at 4. He looks at it. He's like, I have no idea what's wrong. This is weird. What you're saying? Are you sure it's plugged in? Basically, is all he could say because it was just dead. Just like no, it was as though it wasn't plugged in, is what it felt like. But it was plugged into a functioning thing. All right, so that happens. So that's Monday. No, that's Sunday. He's like, I have to come back. Someone has to come back tomorrow when we can get the manufacturer on the phone while we're looking at it. Great. So you'll put me down for 8 a.m. tomorrow, right? 8 to 10 a.m. You give me 2-hour windows.
This makes me, I think I need to get stabbed and jump off this bridge now.
Yeah, it was really awful.
Yeah.
Like I weirdly, for being so just like, oh, well, you're waiting for the serviceman.
No.
My system was so turned up and like hurting. And like I was so tense and angry and frustrated and powerless and all the things. Like it was turned up to 10.
Yeah.
And then, so, okay, great. Okay, Monday. No, I call again in the morning. I get some rando on the phone who's like, yeah, they're coming at 8 to 10. I was like, okay, nothing. 8 to 10. I call back. I get Shauna on the phone. She's my girl. She's the one I've been doing the most conversation. She knows me at this point, and she's like, this is bullshit. We got to get this fixed. Like she's
like, how's your mom?
Basically, and she's on Team Chateau. Yeah, she's on our team. She's mad too, and she's like, no, we actually don't have it down 8 to 10. Hopefully he'll get there by 1. He's on another job. I'm like, okay, but he has to get here before the end of the day because he has to get them on the phone. She's like, yeah. Okay, we're gonna get him there. We're gonna get him there. 2, 3.
No.
4. I'm like, if it's not by the end of the day, it's pointless. If it's not, because they do work till like 6 or 7, but they need to get there by like 3.
Because why do they?
Because they need to come during business hours when they can get the manufacturer on the phone, is what they've told me.
Oh, okay.
While they're looking at it.
All right.
4 o'clock, nobody comes. I call them again, and while I'm calling them, she's calling me. Her phone call comes in while I'm on hold with calling in. So it's like,
okay.
She's like, all right, we're just going to send you a new unit. I'm going to call my manager right now and just say, get him a new unit tomorrow. Just send one out tomorrow. First thing. I'm going to do everything I can to make that happen. I was like, great, fine. I give up. Today is done. But I am exhausted. I am angry. I am sad. I feel guilty. Here's where the story comes around to this metaphor that we were talking about. Not even metaphor, to the literal human design problem. I send out a message to the household with like details and like, I am doing my best. Please understand. Yeah. I'm so sorry this is happening.
Yeah.
I'm on the phone with Rami, kind of, Jesus, and we're just chatting about stuff. And then I get a message back from one of the housemates saying, thank you for doing everything you can. We're going to be all right.
That's cool.
And I just start bawling.
Oh.
And I'm just like, what was it? And it was that specific housemate. It was her voice in my head for 2 days straight.
Wow.
That was exhausting.
Wow.
And I generated the voice. It was not her voice. It was my version of her voice.
Projection. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was relentless, unforgiving, all the things.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what the hell? And as soon as I cried, I was like, I don't give a fuck. It's fine. Next day was frustrating too. They didn't come until much later in the day. And I was like, yeah, they'll get here because they have to. And it's their fucking job. I'll deal. We're going to be fine. And I didn't have any of that stress. All of my needs to get met were like, yeah, I need that to happen. Whatever.
No, you just told the story of everything, I think. That's the whole story of everything in life.
Yeah, it was something.
Is that if we can just feel what we ruminate and we spin in the head, and it's always an indication that there's a feeling trying to happen every 100% of the time.
Yeah.
What a fucking miracle.
And as soon as I felt it, I was free of it.
That's my point.
Yeah. And I could have told myself that at any point during the day and it wouldn't have mattered.
No, of course.
I wouldn't have believed it.
Right.
Because it would have been, we talked about this a few weeks ago. It's like that difference between knowing and knowing. Like that, the knowing in the head is like, great, cool. That's an idea.
Right. You have to get the head idea to drop to the heart.
Yeah.
They say in 12-step, the longest journey you'll ever take is the journey from your head to your heart.
Yeah.
But see, the way I hear your story is like, that's a breakthrough moment where you probably believe it a little more now because of that experience.
Oh, every time. Every time.
So that means that next time you're spinning, you might be able to say to yourself, what could I do to drop into my feelings right now? Like, who do I need to talk to? Who am I afraid of? What voice am I hearing? What if I called her now? So the tears
Yeah.
can happen faster.
Yeah.
So the liberation can happen faster. I had a story just like this on the same days.
Interesting.
Yeah. This brings us back to the first thing we were talking about the relief that came on Monday.
That's great.
When did the...
Okay, so this all happened a week ago. Tuesday is when the guy finally came Tuesday. Again, I waited most of the day. He didn't come till like 3. And it was like their senior technician. It was their guy who knows what the fuck's up. But he didn't know what was going on. He was like, what's going on? What's happening? He didn't have a new unit in his vehicle.
No.
I was just like,
What did he do?
So
he just fixed it?
Did a temporary fix and they need to get a part.
Okay.
It was there was a short and he needed to bypass the pump with a blah-de-blah line so that they need a new harness. It's a dumb, boring thing. It's not functioning at its peak right now, but it is absolutely functioning.
See, but this is why I think all the details were important at the beginning of the story, because everybody needs to hear this story through the frame of, look how many times Cassidy and all of us, not Cassidy, he's not flawed, he's human. Look how many times how many bits of that story we could blame his frustration on.
Right.
It's the time. It's the he didn't come. It's he should do this. It's this. It's that. But it was really about some emotional something. I'm worried that Keisha is going to be mad at me. I made that up. I don't know. Jenny Smith is going to be mad. And once Jenny Smith is like, I'm not mad. I love you. And the crying and then, and then the rest of it becomes just managing reality.
Yeah. Then it's just like, this is what it is. A thing broke.
Right.
What are you gonna get mad because a thing broke?
Right. But if ruminating, so I would just want the audience to so get this. I'm so happy you told this story. Anytime you're spinning in your head, anytime you're spinning in your head, there's always a feeling that once you process the feeling by feeling the feeling, the ruminating stops, the spinning stops, the OCD stops, the addictive behavior stops. Always, 100% of the time. Okay, now I'm going to tell you my story because I'm right there with you. Can I share just to relate?
Do it. I'm here.
This was my version, and I'm gonna do a little bit of patting myself on the back also, because for me it was a victory for my version of this, not to compare to you and be like, look, I did it well. It's not what I'm saying. I want to preemptively say that. So Newman Manfredson, we're going to call him fucking Alfred because that's his goddamn name. And
he's already been outed.
He doesn't fucking care. I just got to, I enjoy the habituation to calling him not his name. Okay, so Alfred, my lovely ex-boyfriend who lives in Colorado, has been on the East Coast, or was on the East Coast from the 24th of December. That's part of why I was asking you the date all this happened, because I was like, were you and I having similar frustrations on the same days? But anyway.
Kind of, yeah.
He was going to come, he got to Pennsylvania on the 24th. He was going to come to me on the 30th, be with me on the 30th, the 31st, and part of the 1st, I think was the plan, blah, blah. Context is he was flying from Colorado to see like 10 members of his family in Pennsylvania. And this is when Omicron has become radically, everybody's getting it. And I am on week 5.5 of a ton of pain in my foot all day, every day. The best thing I can do is see a client, lay down for 3 hours, see a client, lay down for 3 hours. And that's like my best day.
Katie, I'm just going to say, lie down for 3 hours.
Oh my God. Thank you. That was amazing that happened. Oh my God. I love that so much. We just talked about it. Oh my God, I love it.
Unless you're fucking duck feathers, in which case you can go lay down.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Lie down. All I can do is see a client lie down. Oh my God, that's so good. Anyway, bad days is what I'm saying. And it was the kind of bad days where I have it's 1:11. I just caught the time. The ones are my number. Anyway, and the ones, by the way, are about, this is why I see these numbers all the time. I see the ones and 808 all the time, and I'll explain because it's relevant to the story. The ones are about being the leader who pulls people forward in the culture to love. You're supposed to step forward, be a leader, and pull people forward to love. And this is literally a story about that. That's why I'm saying out loud, I see that it's 1:11. My mind is blown. Okay. So I didn't even realize the point of telling about lying down forever is how lonely and upset I was for how long. and how hard it is for me to reach out to people and say that I'm lonely and upset, because it's like, I always have this voice in my head that says like, people can't help you. They're busy dealing with their hot water heaters, or what is Cassidy going to do? Be like, sorry, babe. And then he can't help.
Right.
So why am I going to tell Cassidy? So then I have to like do contrary action and tell Cassidy anyway and be like, hi, I'm really suffering. I'm having a hard time. And then if I'm lucky and the Cassidy in this moment happens to be in a space where he can say nurturing words, it helps. But if he doesn't, because he's a human having his own life, it doesn't help. So what's the point? And then I do a lot of what's the point. So then I'm just alone for 6 weeks in pain all day, being like, I'm strong, I'm okay. And then I'm not strong and I'm not okay. Anyway, so I'm thinking the whole time on a very like hidden to myself level, it's okay because Alfred is coming. Like I can feel in my heart, like he's going to be here on this couch next to my body. His heart is going to beat in time with mine. We're going to make sweet, sweet love. We're going to find a way that my leg will be out of the way and he can have his penis inside my parts. It's going to be comforting. Sex is always very grounding for me. We're going to hug a lot. I mean, it is keeping me alive.
Oh, no.
And so he gets to Pennsylvania. I'm getting the texts. My mom and my sister. That's so great. We had dinner. Now we're this. Now we're that. It's getting closer to the 30th. So I'm starting to go like, hey, so did you get a test? Because you're going to have to test before you come up here, because I can't get Omicron on top of this constant, incessant, serious pain where I've been to the ER 2 times, urgent care 2 times. I've been to the podiatrist because I'm now old. I can't take the drugs they give me, so I'm just lying down all the time. You've had a test, right? And he's like, I've been trying to get a test. We went to 6 different pharmacies, can't get a test. And I'm like, okay, but you'll get one before the 30th, right? Because you're coming up here and I need you to have a test. Yes, I'm working on it. Hours go by. No update. So I check in like 8 hours later. Hey, so what's the latest? Did you guys get a test? Oh, we're at dinner. Okay, cool. And now it's like the 28th. And I'm thinking, the longer he waits to get a test, the results aren't going to come in. Yeah. So now I'm starting to feel like his mom, because I'm up his ass being like, you got a test, right? Anyway, he's not getting tests. Finally, he's like, I made an appointment, but I had to get the antigen test because it's $175 cheaper and I'm taking all these days off work. And I go, you could have told me that. I will pay get the expensive one that is more reliable and faster. The results were going to be faster with a PCR what's it called? Same day PCR.
Interesting.
As opposed to antigen, which was going to take...
Which is usually the quick test. Antigens are usually the swab home. All the home tests are antigen tests.
Right. But he was having to go to a place because he couldn't...
Get even an antigen. Wow.
Well, he couldn't get any at any of the pharmacies.
Yeah.
And out here, you can't at all. Like I went to 6 pharmacies in that same period.
Oh, the home test. Yeah, the home tests are all antigen tests and they're all out of the box. The Binax nows are all gone. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Point being, he's having to pay for a test, which is insane.
Well, and I might be wrong here, but I thought I'm very open to being wrong about this, but I thought that that the antigen tests are less, they tell you have antigens, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're not holding COVID.
Right. They're a little less reliable.
So my thing was, I just can't risk it right now. Please get a PCR.
Right.
But he waited 24 hours to tell me he had chosen antigen. So now I'm angry for 2 reasons. He's been slow to get a test. And now didn't tell me he got an antigen because he's worried about money, because I can help him with money. So I go,
right.
Please let me pay for the PCR. Just get a PCR because it'll be A, faster, because when you drive in, it's B, more reliable. I can't get COVID right now. I'm like super isolating, a lot of pain. Okay, so I send him the money. He makes the reservation to get the PCR. The time to get it has come and gone. I've heard nothing from him.
Oh, gosh.
And I'm like, alone on my couch, getting more and more lonely and more sad, starting to wake up to how excited I am that he's coming. Time comes and goes. I go, so did you get your results? No, I didn't. But don't worry, I'll get him by tonight. Tonight comes and goes, doesn't get him. Now it's the night before when he's supposed to come up. So now it's the morning of he's supposed to drive up this day. He's actually meeting a friend of mine.
This sounds exactly like my story. It's so weird.
I know. It's so uncanny. That's
promise that is unfulfilled of time and wait. But you're waiting in this sort of now, how about now? How about now? How about now? way. Oh God.
1,000,000%. So the next morning, now it's the day of, he's supposed to pick something up from a friend of mine in Pennsylvania that I need for my business and bring it to me. So there's now extra reasons I need him to come. I hear nothing from him in the morning. I know he's supposed to meet her at 10:30. So I text him again. Hey, so did you get your results? The whole time I'm going, why is he not updating me? Why am I having to ride his ass like his mommy? And I'm starting to get pissed about that. Now I'm mad about 3 things. And I'm not communicating it because I'm trying to be nice. Trying to be nice and not get up anybody's ass and be mad about it. So at 10:30 comes and he goes, well, I'm supposed to leave to meet your friend to get the thing, but I don't have my results. Should we delay? Now I'm really pissed because I'm thinking, you could have told me it's 7 a.m. because now she's driving to meet you. He's told me fucking nothing, so I can't help her. So I go, yeah, we should delay. If you don't have your results, you can't come here. The day goes by, night comes. He doesn't get his results.
Yeah.
Then his symptoms are getting worse. He's got a cold now. He's got a little bit of a cold. His throat hurts a little. He's a little tired. And I go, right, because 10 of you are hanging in a house and none of you got tested before you hung out. And you're surprised you have a cold. Oh, and you haven't been updating me about anything at all.
And Omicron looks more like a cold than anything else so far.
Correct.
Apparently. It lives up top. It lives up here more than it lives down here.
Correct. So the day and night he's supposed to be there comes and goes. Now I'm like, so I guess you're not coming here. And the next morning comes, and I know that he's flying out the following day. So the only chance I could see him is if he comes that day. But now I know he's got a cold, so I can't get a cold either on top of having this injury.
Yeah.
So now I realize, like, we're not going to get to hang out. I could cry again right now just thinking about it. The morning comes, he gets his results, he's positive. I lose my shit, and I'm mad. Not at him, because I know better than to do that, but I lose my shit in my condo, pacing with my fucking injured foot, yelling at him. He's not here.
Right.
You could, like, he was going to come up here if I wasn't up his ass about these fucking tests.
Yeah, he was just going to bring it along.
So I'm really mad. But the thing I know is the way through mad for me is to get to, like, what is the vulnerability under this mad, this frustration? Like, what am I actually quite sad about? And so I sit down and I get really in touch with, like, I am so disappointed he's not going to be here to give me some comfort, like, so disappointed. So I don't call him to have this big talk we need to have until I've gotten to that. And I'm crying in my car. So I call him while crying because Katie Rubin crying is way better than Katie Rubin angry. And I know this. So I call him and I'm like, I'm just so sad that you're not going to come. And he's like, I'm really sad too. And I'm like, I need you, from my tears, I'm able to say, I need you to explain to me a few things that I've been really angry about. But right now I'm just sad about. I really need you to help me. Can you please help me understand? Why didn't any of you guys get tested before you blah, blah, blah? Why weren't you telling me what happened with the tests? Why did you, and I asked him through the sadness rather than through the fuck you, you idiot, that I wanted to do it from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my version of spinning in the head is I want to stay in righteous anger and be right about it and mad at you. But it's really that I'm just fucking so sad. So we had a really great talk. And he was like, that one text you sent me really hurt my feelings because I had sent him a text saying, like, I'm trying not to be mad that you guys, none of you tested before you hung out. Can you help me understand that? And on the phone, he was able to say to me, that made me feel bad because you don't know what we went through. And I go, yeah, I don't know because you're not communicating with me. I don't know what's happening. This is the same way with your hot water thing. Like you can't know what's fucking happening. And then he was able to say, like, you're right. I'm not always great with communication. I'm sorry. I should have been communicating better. And I was like, that's all I needed to hear. And why weren't you communicating better? And he's like, well, because I'm always afraid it's going to go badly when I tell the truth. Now he's crying. And I'm sad and I'm crying because I'm like, but I just wanted to see you. And then we're having like a hug over the phone. We're like loving each other from the sadness of he was afraid to confront the truth because he's a 9 and have an uncomfortable conversation. I'm an 8 who's like, confront it now. and I'm sad because I'm afraid I'm not going to get to see him and I'm not going to get to see him. So from the vulnerability, we had this like beautiful hug of a conversation. He was like, I'm going to do better at communicating. And I was like, I'm going to be more patient. And we just like loved each other and it was beautiful. And guess what? After that conversation, I'm not even that upset he didn't come.
Yeah.
Because the upset needed to come out through the tears and it came out through the tears. Then the next day I was like, yeah, he didn't get to come. But had I not let myself cry, I'd still today be really, 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 really pissed off. because how dare he ruin it?
Yeah. And you are attached in your head to the solution to your loneliness. In your head, you had attached this value to a narrative.
Right. When he comes.
Of you're going to come, this will be this, and this will be how it'll be.
Yeah.
But the truth was you needed connection and you were feeling a loss of connection. So you got it a different way, a less satisfying way maybe, but also ultimately spiritually satisfying as well.
And as you say that, that's 100% it. It makes me realize, and this whole injury with my foot has been making me realize, this is going to sound so dumb to you as a social 3, I'm sure.
Sure.
But Rami helped me discover recently that I'm what's it called? I'm the least social kind of the 8. What's it called?
You're a self-pres.
Yeah. So I'm like, my impulse is be a 5, like hide out, no people. Anyway.
Self-pres for those means self-preservation. Those in the know call it self-pres, which means you operate through a lens of like, it sounds very selfish by its name, but that's the problem with a lot of Enneagram is it's very negatively framed.
Yeah.
The language is very negatively framed, but it just means your primary lens is one of like making sure that your world is shaped in a way and safe so that you can continue operating in it.
That's right. That's right. Like it never occurs to me like include more people in this because that might help. So I have to like contrary action myself into doing that. Point being, and Rami read me the best description recently of self-pres 8 where I was like, oh my God, I'm a 5. I'm basically just a 5. Like we tend way toward 5-iness. Anyway, the point being, this foot thing has made me be like, this is the dumbest thing ever. Oh, I need connection like all the time. Like all the time. It's like the best. In other words, waiting until I'm on the verge of dying from not having connection to connect is not functional. Connecting a lot regularly so that your well is filled, so that when you have to be alone a lot, it can diminish a little. The water can come out of the well because you've got reserves. That would be a healthy way to function. And so I've been like, on this weird new, like, hey, buddy, like calling old friends and like connecting with people more and just being like very, I don't know how to explain it. Like it moved from my head to my heart, the thing of let people in to what's happening today, even if what's happening today is nothing. Because to me, I'm such a survivalist. I can be so damn stupidly strong that I'm like, that's not a thing to talk about. I went to the store, even though my foot hurts terribly, and I also walked the dog for the first time in 6 weeks. Well, I'm not going to talk about that. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Because then I'm connecting from a vulnerable place with people in the world. And then I feel filled up by connection.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, my South Node is in Aries and my North Node is in Libra. So those astrology people listening know what that means. For those who don't know, I'll just say what that means is I came into this life. What you come in with is your South Node. It's like what you've already lived through with this Aries way of being where it's like, I do it on my own. I'm very directive. I know how to do stuff on my own. I can start stuff. I can make solo shows. I produce them. I make it happen. But then over the course of my life, my North Node is in Libra, which is where you're heading. The North Node is where you're heading in your life, the big learning lesson. Libra is about friendship, community, connection, sharing, family, love. And so my whole life is learning to be better at that. And here I am, 44 years old, midlife, Uranus opposition, heading into the second half of life, heading toward Libra and learning Libran lessons of, it helps to connect with people, Katie, even about things that your brain says are small.
It's interesting that that's happening on the direct tail of moving hugely twice in 2 years. Like leaving one community to go to a new one, creating a new community, then leaving that one to go to a brand new one and having to start over again.
Sounds like an Aries, South Node Aries. And like, I can do it. I got this. Me starting it. Go. Yeah.
And not moving to like a new center, but moving to 2 remote places.
Just 2. Well, I'm not in a remote place now.
Well, you didn't move to New York City.
But you should see it. It's pretty cityful. But your point stands in that, like, I moved very far away from everything that is, except that, interestingly, here, there's a lot of people, like, from my past and new people. So there's people. But your point very stands. And I keep coming back to, like, I've been going in the records a lot lately and being like, you guys, it's cool. Did I fuck up here? It's cool. You could tell me I fucked up. I could take it. Is this a fuck up? I will take it. I will do. What's next? Come on. And I keep getting, no, like, this is what needs to happen. And My damn lady that I trust keeps getting no, and things are coming together, and I get indications that it's blah blah. But you better believe I'm going to operate differently. Like this whole thing is like so helping me get this community thing, this Libra thing, this tell people the stuff thing. Yeah. So
Feels
anyway,
like
we were, both of us having the same or very similar
experiences of being caught in your head in a narrative. Oh God, it's just, I think if you boiled down 70% of our episodes over the last 2.5 years or whatever, 2 years, 3 years, 2.5, I don't know how long it's been, 2 years, you would, if you just pulled out the message, it was, check your narrative, move to the feeling. Like that's pretty much, like that should be, you and I should start a new cult, and that should be the cult heading.
I think mine is more like, because it didn't have a narrative with it. It had anger. It's like, for me, it's like when I do a 4-step inventory, it's, if you're in anger, Katie, for me, when I'm in anger, some people need to move toward anger. For me, when I'm in anger, it's a defense against vulnerability every fucking time. You know what I hate about that? I hate that it's that some people get to indulge anger. I'm so jealous of people who are like 9s who have to like learn to be mad. Because I'm like, oh, how I love anger. Oh, how I love you. I'll just stay there all day. But it just doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, we all move toward the thing and we learn to do the thing, but it's not like we enjoy that thing.
Totally. Give me 2 seconds. I'm sorry. The dog is back. Please hold.
Look at that boat. There's the squeeze.
I know, we just podcasted around an entire dog walk in one day.
It's perfect. There's Squeezel. Welcome back. Katie's in her boat. We got to see Katie's boat as she walked away from us.
The bitch
She's
is
all
back.
booted up. The bitch is back with the boot. The booted bitch is back.
Wouldn't it be cute if I could get Squeezel a matching boot? She had a little doggy boot on her little left paw. Look at that, Squeeze.
Look at her just sitting back there waiting.
She's like, hey guys, what are we doing now?
That's perfect.
Oh, she went out and had a pee and poo. Everybody wins. Okay. Well, we did an hour and a half. I'm very proud of us. I feel like that was very productive, very teaching, lesson-y. Who needs the records? We did teaching points.
We'll do it next time.
So
welcome to
2022, bitches. And
what do twos mean?
I was just going to say what twos mean. I was just going to say it. Oh my God. Twos are, you're not going to believe it. Twos are about connection, community, togetherness, love. In fact, here, I'll read it right here. This thing right here says what the twos are about. Oh my God, that's so funny you said that. And I was literally going to say what the twos are about. The frequency of 2 brings healing around partnership and allows you to be helped by others, particularly in relationships. Whether business or personal, the 2 indicates more can be gained by working with another. 2022, bitches.
Right, because we're not at 2027 yet where we're going individual, but 2022 is about working in community.
But remember, it's going to be an individualism of community, a communal understanding of the value of individualism.
There we go. I love that.
Right?
I want that. That's what we've been working towards. Yeah.
Exactly.
And since we never learn anything the easy way, we're going to get to 2027 by banging our fucking heads against each other. Going, let me help you. Let me help you. Let me help you. And then 2027 we'll finally be like, you're okay.
Work together.
Serenity now.
It's all about parallel play, people.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Ooh.
Sounds kind of dirty too, which I like. So the question I'll leave the listener with is, who wants to come to my house and hug me on my couch with maybe some peen action? Who's available? Raise your hand.
Careful. You're going to get, you know what it's called, Kale Room at gmail.com. You're going to be getting dick pics.
New Patreon level. The $1,000 level.
Hug and peen.
Man,
level.
if somebody paid us $1,000 a month to do this, I would definitely go on go on a date with them and decide if I want to do some peen action. For sure. For sure. So think about it, America.
Hey, now that you've done all of your year-end giving and done your tax write-off stuff, we understood that you didn't want to do that for us because there's, worthy things that also give you a tax write-off. But now that it's the brand new year and that's out the window, now it's time to join our Patreon as a peen level donor.
Level peen. Level 1, 2,
Level
3 peen.
3 peen.
Katie will meet you in public with lots of other people around for $1,000.
Including Desmond or Cassidy will fly out to be to be at a nearby table. Like it's going to be, we're not going too nuts.
No,
here.
we're going to have boundaries.
We're going to have boundaries. Very admirable boundaries.
Exactly. Next week, I want to promise we're going to do some improv-y things, and we're going to do some Akashic Record things, and it's going to be deep and wonderful. A couple weeks from now, just to give a teaser for everybody, is I have an astrologer coming on. I have to talk with everybody about dates and times, but we have that coming up around the corner.
Awesome.
So fun stuff. Stick around. Peen level.
If I can continue with the plugs real quick, Time Pop just came back when this is edited, January 6th. Time Pop has returned with Tenet. We have Scott Lifton, who has been on this episode, on this podcast before. And also, if you're into wizard women, which I think you are, me and my best friend are doing a podcast about the show Wheel of Time,
fun.
which is all about powerful wizard women. And it's a lot of fun. Called Thank the Light.
Can you remind folks what Time Pop is?
Time Pop is a podcast where we watch and discuss a time travel movie. Sometimes a show, but usually a movie. We have done, coming this year, we have Tenet, The Tomorrow War, Synchronicity, Frequency, and tonight we are recording a show about A Map of Tiny Perfect Things, which is a fucking great movie. If you're not super into time travel, but you're into super cute, not overly sloppy romantic movies, it's...
What's it called again?
The Map of Tiny Perfect Things.
Cool.
And it's on Amazon, and it's super cute.
I was realizing while you were talking, we are some nerdy motherfuckers, aren't we? We are deep nerding it. That's what we're doing.
Should I listen to the Time Pop episode about Tenet if I just failed to finish that movie? Because I was just like, I don't care anymore.
I think since you know Scott and Ari and I think you could. If you don't know us and you haven't seen it, it's probably too much. But we might give you just the ammo you need to be like, okay, I'm gonna watch it again now with all this information and understand it.
Deep nerding it. I love you. Do your work.
Love you both. Bye.
Bye, guys.
What are you asking for? All of the answers? Say what? All of the answers? Yeah, all the answers.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. We'd love to hear from you. Please email us with your questions so that we have questions to answer in the Akashic Records. Our email address is allanswerspod@gmail.com. That's allanswerspod@gmail.com. And if you'd like to find us on Facebook or Twitter, it's @allanswerspod, @allanswerspod. Thank you.
We can cut this part out.
Mixed and edited by Desmond McNeese for We Mixed It, LLC. Go to whatsoundsawesome.com.
Then I'm really not so sure which side of the bed I should lay. I should lay